Oh. Of course. What did...
Hello.
We're not live.
It said we were live.
It did? Because it still
says...
says...
it says we're live on the top with the red button, the red
Okay, well, maybe we're live. It doesn't say live on my end, so let's just go ahead and jump in. Like I said before with the technology, I knew something would pop up here. So happy Wednesday to everyone who is joining us. We are here for our Wednesday Facebook Live at noon, and we have a very special guest, Mia Boo with the Des Moines Art Center. And I am going to go ahead and let you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit your role and a little bit about the Des Moines Art Center.
I would love to. Thank you so much. It's so exciting to be live right now with you guys. So my name, again, Mia Boo, and I am the museum educator at the Des Moines Art Center. My role is, a lot of people consider this field of museum education now in the realm of interpretation. So a museum educator is the person who helps develop programming, different ways of creating guides or other kinds of resources or events that just help the community tie themselves to the artwork or the exhibitions that are on view. So I've done things from, creating informational videos and slow looking exercises, leading sculpture park tours, creating scavenger hunts. So anything that is this bridge between people and the artwork, that's essentially what I'm up to.
Right.
And the Des Moines Art Center, for anyone who isn't familiar with it, it is a art museum founded in Des Moines in 1948. So we've been around for a while, and it is a contemporary art museum and modern art. So everything that you'll see on view, for the most part, is less than around 100 years old or later. We try to collect things from artists that are still living, and it's really cool to get that opportunity because you get to hear the artists speak for themselves. But we're not just a museum, we're also a school. So we offer classes for all ages, from toddlers to seniors. The school portion of the art center was a really important part of it with its founding. That's why it's called a center and not a museum, because it wanted to be this all-inclusive, however you want to access art. If you want to make art, if you want to look at art, if you want to come hear a lecture about art, if you just want a space to go and think about things, the art center can provide all these different kinds of opportunities because it's so multifaceted.
Right. That's amazing. I love how there's, you can go and visit, but then you have the whole education portion as well. So let's talk about kids. So I know you offer kids classes and summer camps and stuff like that. What tips do you have for families who are visiting the museum and just want to walk around and look at the artwork?
Absolutely. So when I'm programming for families and creating things for parents and families, I actually think a lot about my mom. I grew up in Des Moines as well, and I was a super art lover. And my mom never took me to the art center. And I wonder, what are those boundaries that are keeping parents from taking their kids to a museum? Mm-hmm. My mom took me to classes. I was able to get cool scholarships to attend art classes, which we still offer through schools and through our scholarship program. So I took classes, but I never went to the museum. And I think about, a lot of times I give tours to kids. So that I started out in the Des Moines Art Center as a docent and leading groups of kids through the museum. And kids love looking and talking and thinking about art. And after an hour of going through a museum with a group of kids, they never want to leave. They want to I'm like, okay, guys, the tour is done. And they're just like, what? And I was like, yeah, there's a lot left. And they're like, what? We can't go. And it's but I think about what keeps a parent from taking their kids, what kept my mom from taking me to the art center. And I think, okay, well, a lot of people think that an art museum is going to be boring. They think this is modern art. I don't know what it has to offer
me. I don't know if it's my end or her end.
Oh. Thanks, guys. Aaron's gone. So maybe it was her buffering, but I'll just keep talking because we're live. So what I was thinking about was, what keeps families from coming in. A lot of parents think that kids are going to be bored by art because a lot of adults don't know what to do when looking at modern art. And a lot of people think that it's not going to be accessible or exciting because we don't have things to touch or interact with. And I understand that feels like a limitation when you have kids. But the way to take a group of kids into the museum and a way to be successful with that is to really let the kids lead your experience with their curiosity. Kids are going to walk into a space and see something that makes them curious. And instead of thinking that this is like an experience, like I'm the parent, like I have to choreograph this for them, like allow them to say, like, let's talk about this. Like, oh, they say, what's that? And you walk over and you say, what do you think that is? And, ask them questions like, why do you think the artist chose that color? What do you think this piece of art is about? Because an art museum is a place where there aren't wrong answers. You could take a kid to a history museum or a natural, science museum, and like we're learning things, we're learning facts. But when we're looking at art, like any kind of interpretation is valid. So your child is essentially just as much an expert on art as I am or as you are. And it is a place where your child, like, what they think and feel about the art is powerful. And like taking kids to look at art and really seeing what they think and feel and giving them the opportunity to process those things and to see, a real life Picasso and like ask them what they think about it. It can be like really transformational when a kid gets that kind of agency to be able to like tell you what they think and what they see. And it's just as important as what the label says.
Right. Right. I love that. I love being, because then they are able to express, and it's like a safe space. I feel like, there's plenty of safe, but I feel like it's a safe space for for children to just use their imaginations and just tell how they really feel and what they're thinking. Yeah. And it definitely really creates a connection and a conversation without, having digital stuff, our phones and laptops and stuff. And it's just in the moment being there. So I love that.
Yeah, it's great because, we do connect via things, like we connect via technology, and connecting via art is so cool because essentially this is a static thing. It's a painting. It's a picture of a horse, and that's the only thing standing in between me and you talking. Right. And so we're connecting like, how many horses have you seen in real life? Like, what do you think about horses? And it's like, it's just so great because there's not a lot of other like voices involved. It's your voice, it's your child's voice, it's the artist's voice. But then you're able to tie it into like cartoons and stories and experiences that they've actually had in their lives. And like, it's super powerful. So I think if parents focus on letting your child kind of be the expert and letting your child's curiosity be the thing that pulls you around, that's like super, like that creates success in the museum.
Awesome. So so what are your hours for like walking into the museum and, looking around and looking at stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. So when the museum was founded, they said this place has to be open 6 days a week. So we're still open 6 days a week. We're only closed on Mondays. Okay. So, along with a lot of like great restaurants, there's nothing to do on Monday. So we're on that list. But we open every day at 11, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and then we open at 10 on Saturday and Sundays. And then we are open until 4 p.m. every day. So either 11 to 4 or 10 to 4. And then on Thursdays, we stay open late until 7. And these are our COVID hours. We used to be open late until 9 on Thursdays, which is a nice time to go and see the work in the evening. Maybe because your kid's winding down, and one thing I think is so special about the Art Center is that it's free. And I think that makes it so much more accessible. So you can try at a different time and just go in and see how your kid responds. And if, they're not into it that day or they're not feeling, you don't have any obligation that you have to like stay very long. You can come in and look at one piece of art and have an amazing experience. And it's not like a day of like, I have to take my kids to the zoo or to a theme park where it's like the whole day. It can be a place you stop after school before going home.
That's good to know. And also, isn't the rose garden is right behind you, right? Too. So like you can burn off some energy, like, wandering through the rose garden as well, in between looking at things or before. And so that's a great option too, for sure.
that's one thing I was thinking. So you had asked me, and I'm going to ask you the question you had asked me, and she sent me questions beforehand about what ages are great to take to the museum. And I really thought about it because, I mean, of course, I'm going to say all ages.
Right.
We have a program called Mommy and Me, where we have moms, like new moms with their babies, and they have a tour, and they like cater towards like pointing things out to the babies, and then also like giving the moms that kind of experience of like really learning about things. So it's super beautiful and powerful. And then we also like take like 3-year-olds through the museum and point out colors and shapes, and they love it. Mm-hmm. But I also want to be realistic that there are challenges when you are taking little kids in. I once took my 2-year-old nephew, and he just like ran full force out of sculpture, and I had to like, you know, and you know, I've gone in there with my baby niece who's 6 months, and she just, you know, had a meltdown at one point. And I think that what's so important about the fact that like this place is accessible, this place is free, you're not stuck anywhere. And if you need to just like take a moment, like we do have the rose garden outside. We do have some sculptures out, like a sculpture outside that they can actually climb inside of. Cool. Yeah, it's by artist Annie Goldsworthy. It looks like an egg. People take photos at it a lot.
Oh, I've seen. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you can actually like climb inside of the caverns. And, you know, and we're in the middle of Greenwood Park, so you can go down to the Mary Miss Pond. You know, so like recognizing like our staff are prepared for kids to be kids and to have kid experiences, and that parents shouldn't let them limit them to like, oh, trying things. Like we can try this art museum, and my kid can see a painting and get really into it, and then say like, I want a snack. And since there's no food in the museum, we'll go outside and have a snack. Like just really like the museum is here for the moments that you want to have with your kid, and then any other way to accommodate things like you can, because it's so accessible.
Yeah, I love that. I definitely, because I appreciate, I know a lot of like, and even when my kids were, I think now they'd be okay, but when they were younger, you know, we would talk about it, and I'd be like, oh, I can't take them to the art center. That would be crazy. You know what I mean? But I think definitely having this conversation, and for those who are listening, I think your words and the way you describe things really help, you know, ease parents' minds and realize that like everyone's aware of, you know, children. It's just really just working with them to see, you know, how they're going to act and what works. And again, like you said, it's also free. So if one piece of artwork and that's all, then, you know, you can always come back another day too. So yeah, that's a wonderful.
And that's such a cool practice to teach your kids, just to like finding things that bring you joy and just accessing them on an everyday kind of thing. Like I think so many times we make things like such a big, like, you know, we got to pack a picnic, and we got to like, you know, I've got to have the day off, and really like finding those ways to bring like powerful experiences just like easily. You know, my partner and I, like my husband, we watched this movie, the Basquiat movie, learning about this artist. And we were so into it. And the next day, you know, we both had to work, but we were like, let's just go look at his painting. Yeah. You know, we watched him, and we just went and looked at that one painting and talked about it after just learning about him. And then we left, you know, and like, you know, you could stick around for lunch, and like, so the museum is what you want it to be, and it's accessible for that.
Awesome. So I know many of the summer camps are pretty much full, but how do parents stay up to date with programming, camps, activities, anything that may be happening at the Art Center?
Thank you. So I think there's like the best way, and then there's like the best way. But the best way that is accessible and free is to just sign up for our e-newsletter. It only comes once a month, and like I hate getting emails. So like I understand like you maybe don't want to sign up for an email, but like even working at the Art Center, I look forward to it, because, you know, that's how you learn about what films are coming. Like we've got lecture series, you know, you learn about the new exhibitions that are coming and what exhibitions are closing. Like it is such an easy way just to skim through this like newsletter to see like, oh, classes are open now. I can click on this link and get in there really quick. So that's the first thing I'd recommend. If you're not ready for that, of course, you can just follow us on social media and see some of our fun posts. And then if you really want to, like, if you're like, okay, I actually want to like dedicate myself a little bit to being in with the Art Center and doing more with the Art Center, I recommend becoming an Art Center member. It's really an affordable membership, and because a lot of museums have memberships, but it's so you get free admission. And since we offer free admission to everyone, the added benefits are you're going to be the first one to learn about when classes open. So most of our classes are filled up with members, and classes are 20% off if you're a member.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
So, if you're deciding like my kid loves art and I want to get them in classes, then membership is great. And then you learn about all these different opportunities. And then, there's benefits just for members. We offer this program called Member Sunday, which we've been doing for a few years, which we didn't have last year, where we like have free ice cream and members can come with their families outside and like gather and like talk. So, if you decide like the art center is something that I think my family would benefit from being really involved in, membership is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Mia, for joining me today and chatting about the Art Center and bringing families and children into it. I appreciate you and your time joining us today and the technology difficulties as usual. But if you guys have any questions, please drop them in this feed below and we'll keep an eye on them. And then as always, feel free to message me, feel free to reach out to the Des Moines Art Center if with any questions, and we will see you guys later. So happy Wednesday. Have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend and chat to you guys soon. Bye.
Thank you guys.